Hi, this is Bobby Ryan of the Detroit Red Wings, and you are listening to Empty Betters with Nick, Mac, and Harrison.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to episode 82 of Empty Betters. I'm your host, Harrison Scholes. I'm going to toss it across the screen to my newly vacationed co-host, Nick Manella. It's good to have you back, buddy. I'm not going to lie. We missed you last episode.
Thanks, man. It's good to be back. I am very, very exhausted right now. Not running on a lot of sleep over the last week, but yeah, I had a wonderful trip. It was great to go and celebrate my cousin's wedding. And if anyone saw any sort of, photos from the wedding, that we had a lot of fun. So it was a good time. Good time.
Good. You deserved a little break.
Yes.
Before we talk about your trip a little more in depth, because I know that there's some juicy stuff in there. I just want you to know, and I don't think that I've really explained to you like fully in depth with proper Wi-Fi how much Mac and I grinded last week after we recorded to get that episode up. I give you all the respect in the world. It is a process.
No, it's a trip, man. And
it is not easy. And I want you to know that we appreciate you. I know that it's kind of like an unspoken thing. You just edit it, you throw it up. You're like, Harry, it's up. Go do your thing. I'm like, all right. Last week was like two monkeys with a screwdriver and like a bolt of lightning trying to make like a toaster oven work or something. It was horrible, but we did it. I don't know how, but we got lucky.
You guys did do it. I was very proud.
Yeah.
That was an excellent analogy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And were you proud and surprised or just proud?
No, I had faith in you guys.
Buddy, you should not have, because after most of the steps to do it weren't too difficult, but once you had to start using the Adobe stuff, I think Mac and I were like, well, we're fucked. Like this is just is what it is.
Well, there's a lot of layers to it and stuff too.
Yeah.
And connecting them all and whatnot.
It's all the stuff you never
you can't go to the next thing properly. And
I had my laptop running like 8 different programs while sharing my screen with Mac on Zoom, and it legitimately sounded like a NASCAR race.
Yeah.
What was so funny too is like we almost couldn't get it, like nothing was loading, and then Harry was like, all right, maybe if I stop sharing my screen, and then it went like that because it was just like too much for the computer to handle.
Yeah, I'm not a tech guru, but on off button and stop sharing screen, that's my language. So
yeah. Exactly.
Nick, do you want to tell the listeners where you were? I think we mentioned that you were in Aruba last episode, but any good stuff down there?
A lot of good stuff down there, man. So yeah, as I mentioned, I went down for my cousin's wedding. We had like a group of I think it was like 40 people that were there for the wedding, and it was on Saturday. We flew down on Thursday, and most people on the trip stayed until like Wednesday or Tuesday at least. So like we had a whole squad just ripping up the Renaissance Resort in Aruba, and it was so sick. We had great weather the entire time. Got to do some fishing in there, got to haul in some barracuda and some tuna. So great fishing trip. Did have some people on the boat get sick. Not gonna lie, I never get seasick ever. And after I pulled in a tuna, I slammed a Gatorade on an empty stomach right back up.
Oh
yeah. Back up. Yeah.
Happens.
It was one of those like one and done, where you just kind of like, let's get this over with. I knew as soon as I did it, I was like, that was a mistake, but it was still a ton of fun.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah. It was that and probably the about 90 beers to that point that I'd consumed over the course of like the 3 days leading up to that. But
I think you mean zillion beers.
Yeah, it was just about that. So
you told me to remind you have like 3 different rants.
I do.
Is that on air or is that off air?
Oh, no, I have like 6 for off air, but for on air, I have 3 that I can talk about. So
you want to go off?
Of course, because it's me, any situation I deal with, I just get like the worst of humanity thrown at me all the time, always. That's just my luck. And of course, with my rage, who knows how that's going to go. So people that clap when the airplane lands.
Yeah. Fuck that.
It's the stupidest thing in the world. And also
I'll one up you. when it lands and they stay, please stay seated.
Yeah,
and everybody stands.
Yeah.
I'm like, where do you think you're going? You're not getting anywhere.
No, it's ridiculous. Or you get the jackass from like row 15 seat B who's like, oh, time to get off the plane now, and like, sprints off the damn plane. And that, and the people that wear their neck pillow through the airport, I just want to like take it off and just like slap you in the back of the head. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's great.
Yeah, those are two excellent travel observations.
Yes. And I'm very fortunate that I've been able to travel a lot at such a young age. So I'm like a machine when I get to security. Like by the time I walk up to get that little annoying plastic bin that never comes out the right way and you have to shake it a billion times, like my shoes are off, my phone is out, my wallet's out, my Apple Watch is off, my laptop, if I'm going with it, is out and in the tray already. And I'm boom, in, out through security, done 30 seconds. So when Bonnie and Donnie, old man mustache and his wife are, going up there in their Hawaiian shirts on their tropical vacation. And they're like, she's taking off like pieces of jewelry. And he
goes through it and he comes back.
He's taking off his belt, taking off the belt and taking off the boat shoes that have something metal on them that he forgot. That's when my eyes start to cross and I'm like, oh my God, this is it. But
this is it. Yeah. Do you have TSA?
The pre-check thing? I don't, but typically I can get around and through quick enough to the point that I don't need it.
This goes for you and anyone else who's listening who, if you travel a lot, you can get it for, I think, $80 and it lasts for 5 years.
Right.
So
we had it for a while just because my dad used to travel so much for work, but we didn't for this trip.
Smart. I should get that, honestly.
Yeah,
you travel enough that's worth it for sure.
Yeah, no, it's a lifesaver. I got it for like work, like right before the pandemic, but you literally just go to like the closest like TSA room, they take your thumbprint, they do a background check or whatever, and then bam, you're done. $80 for 5 years. It's worth it.
I will say this, the one part of like traveling internationally, customs always sucks. Customs was awesome this time. And when you come back from Aruba, you actually declare US customs in Aruba. So you don't have to do it after you get off the plane.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Well, good. Glad that you had a good trip. I think your rants are justified. And
thank you.
You've probably already heard Mac talk, but I'm going to toss it across to Margarita Mac, the big OT winner. Everybody on the roller hockey team's thanking Margarita Mac for that plus 310 bet. How we doing, buddy?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing well. That bet, I have no explanation other than I just got one of those gut feelings, but that's always what they say are the best bets. So
exactly.
Yeah, I didn't expect you to tweet verbatim what I had sent you, but that was pretty funny.
It broke our all-time favorites record, so there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just glad that it actually hit after something like that, but I
could copy paste and bam, he was out there.
Yeah, it was word for word. But
dude, the snaps or like the Instagram stories of like that baseball mascot running around that you were like filming the other day, I was dying.
Okay, so yeah, I'll give a brief explanation there. I was at a Kenosha Kingfish game. Now this is a minor league ball club and they're not even affiliated with like a major league club. They're just like it's almost like a summer league for like college prospects to like play in just so they can like stay in like good top shape. But anyway, we go down to like $14 for front row seats and yeah, it's a nice little field. I don't know if you guys have ever been to like a minor league game anywhere before, but it was a really classic like minor league experience where they're doing all kinds of shenanigans between every half inning because they need to pay the bills and they need to get a sponsor in there every 5 seconds. But the best part was obviously this fucking mascot guy, and he was not only a baseball but a fish. Like his head was this yellow fish head, but it had seams on it, so he was also a baseball. And the best thing was that, and this is every home game they do this, to deliver the ball for the first pitch to the pitcher, he comes flying in on a zip line from left field, but it's a janky zip line at a minor league ballpark, so he doesn't come like zooming in and all sick. He's like kind of like sliding down the thing, and he's too heavy for it. And then the best part is right when he comes by, I mean, he's holding his head on like it's gonna fall off or something like that.
Jesus.
Oh my god, it was a lot of fun though. And the one other thing I'll add and this is the best gag that I've seen at any like stadium for any game experience, hockey, baseball, you name it. The ninth batter for the other team, so like the final batter, and it's not the pitcher because there's the DH, but just the 9 spot batter for the opposing team is the beer batter at this park, which means that if he strikes out at any point in the game, all draft beers are half off.
That's fucking awesome.
That's the most Wisconsin thing I've ever heard.
Right. And they'll announce it. They'll announce and like batting ninth, so and so. And then they'll be like, and just a reminder, fans, this is the beer batter tonight. So if he strikes out, then half price drafts or whatever. And everyone's like, yeah. And there's hecklers that are like ruthless, that are like, you fucking suck, buddy. Like trying to get him to strike out. And like guys that are like, I'm so thirsty, I need a beer. Like just it's unbelievable. But I'll leave it at that because we got a lot of stuff to get to, but it was a fun time.
I would be remiss if I didn't ask, thank you, if I didn't ask you about your Matt Grizzlick rant that you wanted to talk about today.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about that series anyway, aren't we?
Yes, we will.
I can get to it then. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Good to catch up. Good to have all of us here. I'm happy. So, before we get into the news, just a reminder that our summer merch is on our website. You can check that out at www.emptybetters.com and go to the shop section, or you can find the link in any of our social media bios. We have been seeing people get their orders in. It turned out great. Nick, you did a hell of a fucking job on the design, so thank you very much.
Of course.
I did hear yesterday the Empty Betters roller hockey team secured a 6-3 win, but it was only a 4-3 game with about 2 minutes left. Other team pulled their goalie, and some of the teammates were saying, "Hey, Harry, we got an empty netter. Do we get 20% off merch?" I was like, "It's not a bad promo idea."
It's not.
So go check that out. And we have some big news coming on that merch store very, very soon. We'll get into that more a little, probably early next week. And before we get into the news, we also want to let you know that this segment is brought to you by Brackish Life. Let's take a minute to talk about Brackish Life. If you're like us and grew up on the water and outdoors, then Brackish Life is perfect for you. They have a wide selection of gear from UV shirts to hoodies and hats. It's real Bay apparel made by real Bay people. Head to www.brackish.life today to check them out. A little salty, a little fresh, Brackish Life. Brackish Life has also teamed up with Rink to Reef Chesapeake Bay to preserve the area many of us call home. Rink to Reef repurposes broken hockey sticks into oyster restoration habitats. Brackish Life donates a portion of their proceeds to Rink to Reef to further preserve the beautiful Chesapeake Bay area. Support this great cause by checking out www.brackish.life today. Nick, it's also up to you.
Yeah, but before we do, I feel like I got to mention that when I was out on that deep sea fishing trip I went on, and that boat was pitching left, right, up and down, and everyone was getting sick, I stayed pretty cool because I had my Brackish Life gear on. So just got to put that out there.
Like, in all seriousness, no bullshit. Like their shirts, the UV short sleeves, are honestly one of the coolest things that you can wear in the summer. So yeah. I do highly recommend, even if you're not, a fisherman per se, just for outdoor activity, they're awesome.
Yeah. Oh, they were awesome. And I caught a ton of fish. So coincidence? Don't really think so. Yeah. So little bit of news to get to. There's been obviously a bunch of developments with the Canadian border, as is typical with Canada. It takes hockey for them to change something when it comes to their national policy. So basically where we stand now is Montreal's good to go to come to the States. And if you didn't see the greatest hockey meme of the year of the Habs logo over Borat's face saying, "I go to America," then please go find it, because whoever did that's an absolute genius.
The only hear the Borat music like playing behind it too and everything. Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah. And the other little tidbit of news I wanted to talk about actually pertains to ESPN and their upcoming hockey coverage. So PK Subban's going to work for the remainder of this season as an analyst on SportsCenter to cover the remainder of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And ESPN's also reportedly bringing in former goaltender and current NHL Network analyst Kevin Weeks as a studio and game analyst. They're also going to get AJ Malesko and Ryan Callahan as analysts. And then the Turner Sports, who bought the other half are bringing in Anson Carter, Wayne Gretzky, and Eddie Olczyk. So we're starting to see what these broadcasts are going to look and sound like now.
Yeah, I think these are great moves. Some good names, great people. I'm excited for next season. I really am. I think the broadcast is just going to be next level.
Yeah, this is a great start. I also love the move of bringing PK on while he's like still in the NHL because, first of all, he's on the Devils, so he doesn't have to do anything because he's like, they don't really need to like get ready for next season because there's no point. But the other thing is, it's just good having like players that are actually still in touch with like what's going on like in the league right now. Like they've done this a couple random times, like for the NHL Network even. Where they'll bring a guy on for a week that's already been eliminated or whatever, which I think is cool. But I also just think that's a great move to like bring him on ESPN like right now, basically, just because they don't know what the hell they're talking about right now and they need some help. So hopefully he can kind of situate things over there a little better.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think that it's sort of like, I mean, PK is such a good personality that like we've been saying for years now that this guy is just, he can pick and choose what he wants to do with like an analyst or a broadcast move when he's done playing. So
exactly. He's got a ton of confidence. So he's a good fit for it.
And I think this is the first step in that direction for him. Not that he's like done by any means, but do we want to cover the award finalists? They were all announced. So
we can do award finalists. I think in terms of like analysis, maybe we save that for the one of those rainy days when hockey's over and we're the endless summer of waiting for hockey to come back, and then when the award ceremony comes, we can have something there. But yeah,
sounds good. So Selke Trophy, Bergeron. What else is new? Barkov and Stone. Three guys that could all win that award.
Did you know that Patrice Bergeron, this is his 10th nomination for the Selke Trophy, and the only other player in NHL history to have at least 10 nominees for any given trophy was Wayne Gretzky for the Hart Trophy 10 years in a row.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah. Norris for best defenseman. I think this one's going to get interesting. You've got Victor Hedman, Cale Makar, and Adam Fox. Hedman's name gets brought up with this trophy every year, deservedly so. And then the other two, I feel like it's just a matter of time before they get this thing.
A lot of Fox talk. And even though the Rangers didn't make the playoffs, a lot of Fox hype right now. And I deservedly so. I like
deservedly so.
For sure, but I also kind of just want to see Rangers fans get upset when he doesn't win it.
Yeah. I think they're already upset that the Islanders are in the third round. So.
I feel like the NHL is also it's like a little bit of like a boys club too, where it's like, okay, maybe we won't give it to the younger one here, and Hedman's already got it, so maybe Makar. I don't know.
Yeah, and Makar's been in the. I think he's played like 70 NHL regular season games.
Right.
Fucking stupid like that.
Vezina for best goalie. We have Vasilevsky, Fleury, and Grubauer. I believe this is Fleury's first nomination for the Vezina, if I'm not mistaken.
I read that and I was like, that has to be a mistake.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Sure enough.
It really is.
So all I'm going to say is Marc-Andre Fleury is going to win the Vezina trophy. So
I really hope so for his sake.
I think you will.
Yeah.
Well, I hope it's not Vazzy.
Yeah.
Even though he's probably the best goalie.
They're not supposed to take into account the playoffs, are they?
No.
Okay.
The Hart Trophy nominees have yet to be announced. The Ted Lindsay, which is the MVP according to the other players in the league, McDavid, Matthews, and Crosby. Yeah.
What else is new?
Right.
That's McDavid. McDavid's going to win every award that's possible, so we'll get it out of the way here.
Yeah.
And even though the Hart Trophy nominees aren't announced, they will be announced today, probably after this drops. McDavid's going to win, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Calder for best rookie, Kaprizov, Robertson, and Nedeljkovic. Any one of those guys could win that award. I think the first two it's going to be between, though, and I think it's going to be a lot closer than we thought.
Yeah, I kind of hope Kaprizov wins it, but
I think he should.
They're both great players.
Yeah,
I think he will.
Yeah, Robertson had a great second half to the year, too. So, Bill Masterton Trophy, which is your dedication to hockey, Patrick Marleau, Oscar Lindblom, and Matt Dumba, who have all individually done different but awesome things in the last year or two. So definitely everyone there is deserving of it. And then Jack Adams nominees for best coach are still to be determined. Are those being announced today as well, Harry?
Yeah, I think everything should be announced by like 3 p.m. today. So we're recording this in the morning of June 10th.
Any predictions for Jack Adams?
Mike Sullivan. He'll be a nominee, but I don't know if he'll win.
I'm sure Trotz will be in there.
Trotz will be in there. I'm trying to think of who else might be in there.
Did anybody make like a real push, or did anybody like?
Do you put do you put Brenda Moore in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it's like I'm trying to think like it's based on the regular season, eh? So
what about Dean Evison?
Yeah, that's not a bad one at all.
Yeah.
I
mean,
that's not bad.
They were a lot better than everyone thought they were going to be this year.
Yeah.
I think Quinville could be up there, arguably.
Yeah, that's a good
what
one
about,
too.
What about Jesus, I'm blanking on his name. John Tortorella. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, not happening. All right, well, let's get into the series recaps and break these things down. So we've got 3 that have wrapped up. We still have 1 left that could potentially wrap up tonight. And if not tonight, is it tomorrow or is it 2 days from now?
Game 7 would be on Saturday, I think.
Okay. So let's start with Boston and New York. We all know how this one ended. It ended last night. The Islanders win this in 6 games. They had a monster Game 5 win in TD Garden. Barzal has huge games in Game 4 and Game 5. The Islanders get it done. And I said this to you guys before we started recording. Last night in Game 6, that Coliseum's rocking. I've never seen a Bruins team turn over and die like that in an elimination game before.
Yeah, that barn is nothing to fuck around with. I mean, I was just telling you guys before we started, how cool would it be to see Vegas and the Islanders in the finals? The battle of probably the 2 best crowds. They're definitely the 2 best crowds remaining, but you would probably say that both of them are in the top 5 in like arena atmospheres. And, it just adds more flair to it that this is the last season at Nassau Coliseum. And, I'm sure that's taken into account, how crazy fans are going. Everywhere you turn, Frankie Borelli's having like borderline seizures everywhere.
Literally.
Yeah, it's absolutely chaos. But good for the Islanders, man. I mean, I did not think that they were going to do this. I think you guys both predicted that they would. I think I had the Bees, and they're just one of those teams that continue to prove everybody wrong year in and year out. Ever since Trotz got there, they've been an absolute wagon. It's their 2nd straight year of going to the 3rd round. That's absolutely crazy. And, they are going to go up against the absolute heavyweights of heavyweights, and we're really going to see is what this team is made of, because they've beaten 2 very good teams up to this point. Tampa's a different animal. It's a whole different ball game. So I hate to say it, but I'm kind of rooting for them. I feel like you kind of have to at this point.
Yeah.
And
I feel like that's the consensus for everyone. And it's funny because all the people that obviously I'm talking to, everyone's rooting for a team in the East or in the Metro or whatever you want to call it. And I got multiple texts last night from people saying is it bad that I want this team to win?
Yeah, they're not super hyped up. They haven't won a cup in forever. So I'm rooting for them. And, the big difference in this series compared to the Pittsburgh one that I saw is that Matt Barzal woke up. He was dead quiet against Pittsburgh, and boy, did he fucking wake up in this series. And last night was a dominant performance by them. Shout out to Dean. Islanders adjusted puck line -1.5 at +315, I think. Good call on that. Didn't publish it. I didn't publish anything last night for us because I don't think any of us had a good feel on this, but nonetheless, a great game. I didn't get to watch it actually last night, but games 4 and 5, especially game 5, were absolutely terrific.
Yeah. I do love the very typical New York sports crowd last night, while it's 4-1, just abusing Rask for the remainder of 2nd and 3rd periods.
Well done. Yeah.
Is this Tuukka's last game as a B? I mean, there's another rumor going around about that. So,
well, he might need surgery in the offseason, right?
Oh man,
he might retire.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's getting up there.
I will say one thing quick. I know we're not doing previews to the next series yet, but you talked about how Tampa's a different animal. Don't forget, this is who they played last year
right.
in round 2.
Oh,
I have a hard time believing Trotz will lose to the same team 2 years in a row. I really do.
I think, Barry Trotz knows how to beat the Lightning. We all know that. So
wait, I would love to see a stat of the last time that the same 2 teams played each other in the conference finals. I don't know when that's happened.
I feel
feel
like
like
it'd
can't
be
think
more
of it.
recent than you think. Like,
Yeah, I feel like it's got to
in
be
the West
Chicago and
Coast
someone.
or like
Yeah.
LA and somebody.
Didn't Chicago and LA do like back-to-backs a couple years in a row or something like
They
that?
might have, but even so,
Maybe.
that's like probably 8 to 10 years ago now at this
Yeah,
point.
true.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm just thinking like I can't really picture in my head like what happened. I don't know.
Yeah.
But either way, all I'm saying is Trotz is just the best when it comes to like looking at film and like improving his team based on it. And like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Also,
know
now that I'm thinking about this, it's kind of stupid how many times the Lightning have made the conference finals. They did it once out of the 2 Penguins runs. They did it against you guys in your run. They did it last year in the bubble. They're doing it this year against the Islanders again.
and one cup to show for it all, but
Yeah, but still, it's like, holy shit, that's insane.
What's what happens when you have Braden Point on the deal that he's on?
Dude, Mark was texting me yesterday. So you can get Tampa to win the cup right now at plus 200. And
Do it. Just do it.
Mark texted me and says, dude, like you kind of have to, right? I said, well, I'm not going to blame you. I mean, if you think you could double your money for what is the best team left on paper, then yeah, I'm not going to give you any heartache. I would love to see what the Islanders odds are though. Cause
I'd love to see what Tampa's are
Might
if
have
they
to take
drop
that.
game 1.
ooh.
yeah, it makes you think.
Yeah. So let's move on to the series that was across the border, Winnipeg and Montreal. This one started with some fireworks. We had that, wild Mark Scheifele hit. And he's not going to get to play another game this season. So the Jets ended up getting
And he has to
swept.
sit out the first 2 next season. So.
Yep, exactly. So the Jets, who swept the Oilers, end up getting swept by the Habs themselves. Are the Montreal Canadiens the hottest team in the league right now?
I mean, factually, yeah. They've won 7 in a row. So
Right.
And in that span, Carey Price has a 1.64 goals against average and a 943 save percentage with 1 shutout. So
look out. Here come Carey Price.
here is where we've been saying it all year, and Rick has made fun of us for it on the times that he's come on. Everybody shits on the Canadian division. They suck. They're the weakest. Nobody cares, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Now we really see what the Canadian division was made of, because Montreal is steamrolling teams right now, and they're going to have to play Vegas or Colorado. So, I mean, on paper, that's like a complete mismatch. Regardless of which team they play, I can't imagine their series price it's got to be something between like plus 270 and plus 310 or something.
I was going to say, range. I wouldn't be surprised to see plus 310.
Yeah, so they're going to be huge underdogs. I don't know, Nick. Do you think they stand a chance against either of those teams?
Well, I think it's what you said, Mac. It's here comes Carey Price. This is like the classic upset recipe that this team has. Like they've got some young guys who are just, they're not thinking too much. They're just like Cole Caulfield's just out there playing like, some of his best hockey that we've seen so far. And, guys like Corey Perry are just out there mixing it up. Guys like Josh Anderson and Tyler Toffoli are getting big goals and stuff like that. And
Kotkaniemi's had some big goals too.
Yeah, he's been really, really good. And I mean, let's not forget that he did some time in the AHL, I think, if that was this season or last season, but he's been, sort of trying to find his spot, and he looks good now. So it seems like they could. I am still a little bit hesitant with them coming out of the North. I know we've been saying it's kind of a joke all year, but it's sort of like what you said about the Islanders going up against Tampa, where it's like, this is a different animal. It's whoever makes it out of that other series between Colorado and Vegas, it was called the battle of the best for a reason. Those were the 2 best teams all season long. So I don't know.
One of the things that I think people aren't thinking about in terms of this next series for Montreal is they're about to play in front of a full capacity crowd for the first time in 15, 16 months. So that's going to be a big atmosphere change.
Yeah.
And then going back to Montreal, I mean, I guess it's not as big of a change because Vegas or Colorado have kind of played in that empty arena for over half the year, but
still the Bell Center.
That's going to be tough to walk into. Let's assume Vegas does it. It's going to be really hard to walk into T-Mobile and not get absolutely rattled off of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The footage of downtown Montreal after Toffoli's Game 4 winner was nuts.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, let's move into Vegas and Colorado. So Vegas has just come out of nowhere since, I've last spoken to you guys. Colorado went up 2-0 and Vegas steamrolls back, winning 3 in a row. They get a huge win in game 3. You knew they weren't going to go down 0-3. And actually for a little while, it looked like they were, because I think with like under 10 minutes to go, they were down in the third period.
Yeah. I don't know if it was under 10 minutes, but they did come back in that third period, and they look great. I think I sent you guys this article, but it was really interesting because Elliot Friedman retweeted it. It's a article on The Athletic. I can't remember who the author is, but it was really well written. The last 3 games, Mark Stone has quite literally shut down Nathan MacKinnon, which is not an easy task to do. But, playoff McKinnon, we've said it so many times, he's him, Braden Point, those kind of guys, they come alive in the playoffs even more so than they do already in the regular season. And Mark Stone is just making his life miserable. And in game 5, I mean, what a performance by Stone. He blocks the shot in overtime that leads to the breakaway, snaps it high glove. The celebration is awesome. I don't know. They made it into a GIF or GIF. I always mess it up which one it is. And he's like just pterodactyling through the fucking air. It's so cool. But McKinnon he's had 1 point in the last 3 games. So
yeah, that's just so weird for him.
It is. And Landeskog, I mean, Rantanen's still kind of getting his share, but Landy, Makar, McKinnon, the last 3 games, they definitely look like they are human. And it's going to be really hard to go into Vegas tonight for game 6 and pull out a W.
I'll tell you what the worst cup final scenario at this point could possibly be, and that's Vegas, Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
If I'm going to bed, if that happens for the entire final, I'm going to bed.
Teams.
Yeah. Well, it's not in Tampa. It's not even like I hate them. It's just like I don't want to root for them to go back to back, and I can't root for Vegas. Like I'd have to root for Tampa, but I just wouldn't be that excited. So
it's also like the 2 teams that have like acquired the most talent in like the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And can afford to just pay out the wazoo for everybody.
And one of them did it by having the rules changed for them. So
still salty about that.
Yeah.
Damn.
I have nothing to be salty about because.
Yeah, no, I'm fully aware that you want a Stanley Cup against them. I'm just saying, it seems like why you guys, if you guys lost, then I would probably like justify the hatred of them, but you won. So like, I guess sometimes I maybe don't get it.
Yeah.
Like I hated Detroit when we lost them the first time, and then we beat them. I was like, okay, I still kind of don't like you, but like I can live with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys just seem a little holding grudges.
Maybe it's the attention they get. Who knows?
Yeah, they're just an annoying team, but whatever.
It's like how the Seahawks get like 8 Monday Night Football games every season. It's like, I don't care.
Yeah, they're the Seahawks of the NHL.
You put a neon color on your uniform, and now all of a sudden ESPN and NBC care about you?
Yeah.
No.
Kind of like wearing a gold helmet. Although they did ditch those, thank God. That's
God.
why they're playing well.
Yeah. That was the dumbest thing ever.
Those are gonna be like looked back on, like the fucking like white shorts that the Caps wore. Like, literally, there's gonna be a thing in like 20 years that's like, did you know that the Vegas Golden Knights wore these ugly ass helmets for like 20 games or whatever the hell it was?
One thing about Game 5, I do want to say, did you guys see the first goal by Colorado on Fleury? Where he tried to stop he reached across his body with the glove, and it was like a flub shot.
0.8 seconds left in the first when he did that.
That's just a dagger of a goal to give up. But I think it says a lot about this team and their goaltender that, he gives something up like that, and they find a way to win, and they come back after being down 2-0 going into the third period. So I don't know. What predictions for Game 6? I'm going to put you guys on the spot.
I'm just surprised he would cross over like that at the end of the period.
Fleury's an idiot sometimes.
Yeah,
this is what he does. It's I'm gonna put you on the spot, Nick. What you got?
Just because I want it to happen, I'm gonna say the Avs get this thing done. I want to see it go into a 7th game. I feel like this series, with the hype that has been put on it, we at least deserve a 7th game.
Mac?
Well, I've been high on Vegas all playoffs. I've been low on Colorado all playoffs, even through the season. I've been saying they're not the real deal, whatever. I could have jumped ship after they were down 2-0. I thought about it, but I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't. Instead, I hammered the series for Vegas.
You're smart.
I think. And I think I texted this to you, Harry, yesterday or the day before. Yeah, I guess it was the day before. But I said, if Colorado loses, game 5 at home, they're fucked because they're gonna have to go back into back into Vegas and win game 6. And I'm gonna stand by that. I think it's gonna be really hard for them to win in front of that crowd that we were just talking about is absolutely nuts. It's in Vegas tonight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
gonna be
I'm
chaos.
gonna go with Vegas. I think they get it done, and I think we have our Final Four picked tonight.
So it depends how much you look into stats. I was watching NHL Network yesterday. The difference between McKinnon, Landeskog, and Rantanen's production at home versus on the road is like night and day. Like 80% of their playoff points so far have come at home. They have relatively struggled on the road, and they swept the Blues. So I understand that the team didn't struggle, but I'm gonna have to go Vegas. I just think this is the time of year where people's assholes get puckered, and I think Fleury's been there, done that. I think Krubauer is a great goaltender, but maybe not as proven and doesn't have the experience. And when you got a guy like Pietrangelo who's captained a team and won a cup, I think these are the moments where they really shine. And I'm gonna have to go Vegas. I think I might actually put a decent amount on them tonight. I don't know. I'll tweet something out later.
Yeah, I'm debating it too, even though I already would make a lot of money if they win the series anyway. But
yeah, you might be in a different position. I think you'll be all right. Now, if it goes 7, I have no idea. That's a whole different ball.
Yeah, especially
no, it's a toss up at that point.
Yeah.
Well, the other series that is wrapped up is Carolina versus Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay won that one 4-1. Didn't seem to be too much of a problem for them. Carolina was able to get a Game 3 win in overtime thanks to Sebastian Aho on the power play. A wild Game 4.
Nuts.
Absolutely crazy Game 4. I didn't get to watch that one live. I got to watch one of the Habs games in the hotel pool with some people from Montreal, and that was a lot of fun.
Oh, that sounds sick.
It was, and they were super nice people, of course. But yeah, 8 goals scored in the second period alone of Game 4.
Yeah, I think they said that was like the second most in a period in playoff history or something.
It's so typical of a Hurricanes game to have 8 goals scored in like the second period.
Yeah, right. I was also not watching that one live. I think I was at the Brewers game with my dad, but we were following it on our phones, and like we'd give each other score updates, and neither of us could believe the score. Like I'd be like, "Oh, it's 1-1," and then a couple minutes later, he'd be like, "It's 4-2," and I was like, "What?" And then later,
are we looking at the same game?
Right, and then later, I'm like, "It's 6-4," and he's like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah, that game was chaos, and I guess that's kind of the turning point because the Canes were up 4-2 with I think 6 minutes left in the second, and Nedeljkovic just kind of gave up some softies, and then there were obviously some where the defense just broke down. But I think even though they lost in 5, I think Nedeljkovic played a really good series. I watched most of those games, and Tampa just poured it on. I mean, it kind of sucks. I was telling my teammates yesterday, how do you beat a team where, in my opinion, Steven Stamkos is like the 5th best player?
Seriously.
You've got Point, Kucherov, Vasilevsky, and Hedman all ahead of him. I'm like, well, that's just not fair. Like, how do you beat a team like that?
No, it's like when you do franchise mode and NHL 21 and after 15 years and you've acquired all these first round draft picks and everyone's stats for your first 2 lines start with 9. So
yeah, it's crazy.
See, that's why I would love, this is probably controversial, but I would love to see a guy like Braden Point be the face of Seattle's franchise or something like that. That would be cool.
No, I get what you're saying.
Suddenly was the guy on a new team. But
he had a monster Game 5.
Just so vintage Lightning.
Yeah.
Vasi looks incredible. Point gets a huge goal.
Vasilevsky stole 2 games. Quite literally. I think it was Game 2 and Game 5 where Carolina put up a really good fight, and he's just so fucking long and lanky and quick.
Big. I feel like people forget how big that guy is.
I mean, if we did get a Tampa-Montreal final, that would be the battle of the 2 best goalies for sure.
There's a lot of good goalies left if you think about it. I mean, Varlamov's the worst one left, and he's
and he's playing insane.
Good goalie. He had a great season,
and he's playing insane. Yeah. I think it's a legit point to ask. Is Braden Point the best postseason performer over the past 4 postseasons? Because I think his name has to be right up there if he's not.
I think so. I can't think of anyone else that's been that consistent and that clutch and scores that many big goals.
Yeah, almost definitely you've got to be.
Yeah.
I think what this series ultimately proved to me was that, Harry, you mentioned that Vasi stole 2 games. The Lightning are good, but they are not invincible.
They're not. It just scares me because I was really big on Carolina all year. Carolina's a really good fucking team. I mean,
Yeah.
legitimate.
They have problems though. They're not there yet. They're moving
Right.
there, but
They're moving there. I know they had a rookie goalie, all that shit, but like Tampa just beat them in 5 games. And the one game that Carolina won was a coin toss. I mean,
right.
they got a lucky power play in overtime, and Aho buried one. So I don't know, dude. I mean, I'm rooting for the Isles, but Tampa, they are literally a juggernaut.
Yeah, well, this will be the test, right, against the Islanders to see if they steamroll the Islanders, then we know they're probably going back to back. But I don't know. I think the Islanders could definitely give them a good fight. So
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
If there's one guy who I think could frustrate the Lightning and actually outcoach Cooper, I think it's Trotz.
Yeah,
yep.
he's done it before.
I know, and
Yeah.
it's not like he hasn't played star players already. Like he gets
Yeah.
it. So we'll see. And like I said, the Coliseum's different.
Also, if like Tampa wins the cup with this whole like little Kucherov injured reserve, 17 extra $1 million worth of
annoying.
Yeah,
that rule's getting changed.
that rule's getting changed immediately because people are going to be so up in arms.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair assessment.
Yeah. Like they're going to have to limit it or something. Like you can only store like 5 extra or 6 extra or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, look, no one knows for sure that they sat him out. I think,
right.
It's a little bit of a conspiracy theory, but you never know. I don't know.
I feel like if I was the GM, I would do that though. Like maybe like I know it's technically still sitting your best player, but
they're so good. Yeah,
they're so good.
Yeah, I was talking about this with one of the guys on my beer league team the other day, and we were both like saying, "Yeah, I'm pissed about it," but also I would do the exact same thing.
Exactly. Like, of course,
you have to. If you see that that's a rule, you're gonna go, "Oh, that's a stupid rule. Let me take advantage of it."
Right. It's competition breeds innovation. So
Yep. Well, I think that does it for all the series, and we have 3 of the final 4 already determined. Nick is rocking with the Avs tonight. Me and Mac are rocking with the Knights. We'll see how that goes. Any of the picks that come out, we'll be tweeting that out later today, so you can keep an eye out for that.
One thing I'm going to add, because I forgot, I'll be real quick, Mac Rizlik.
Oh, yeah, we forgot about this.
So, I mean, I didn't get to watch last night's game because I was at work, but I watched all the highlights of all the goals. And did you guys see any of the goals from last night?
Truth be told, I haven't watched the highlights from last night.
Okay.
Yet.
So there's one where Grizzly gets the puck at like his own blue line. And I forget who scores the goal on this one for the Islanders, but their guy literally just like pokes it off his stick and goes around.
It was Brock Nelson, right?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. And okay, I saw that and I was like, whoa, that's like a Bush League play. But like, okay, guy gets a pass, whatever, one and done, like anything can happen. And then like later, I think that was to make it 2-1. And then the goal to make it like 4-1 or something like that. Grizzly gets the puck on his stick in the front, like right in front of the net. And like, he just like panics. And before he can even do anything, it's in the back of the net again. Like literally like 2 just blatant mistakes that can be directly attributed to him. And, I don't want to shit on anybody. I know I'm not in the NHL. I make mistakes too, but at the beginning of the year, we were talking about Boston and that their weakness might be that their D just isn't quite ready to like perform on the highest level. And when I saw that, that's what I thought of. And I was like, okay, I get it. The Bruins were good. They were a good team, but they got exposed for their weakness in the end. And that is justice to me. So I just had to point that out to everybody.
There were a lot of Bruins Twitter crying for Torrey Krug last night. I know that.
Yeah,
it was definitely and Chara. I mean, those are 2
exactly.
That's a second line D pair that they just lost, and now you got to replace them with 2 other guys. So, yeah, Boston's in a weird spot. I think they're kind of like with Washington and Pittsburgh, where your best players are older. You're trying to groom up the younger guys to get to that point so you can make a serious run. But I don't know what the future holds for the Bees.
Yeah, it's also kind of a little therapeutic to go along with Mac's, feelings of closure that like the Bruins felt like the refs were being unfair against them.
Yeah, Cassidy got fined $25K for that
Yeah.
comment.
So, and
yeah, shut the fuck up. Sit back down.
Exactly. It's like, well, how did round one go for you? You got like every call thrown your way. So
That was another one where the NHL just puts on the nun outfit and smacks him with a ruler.
Yep, big time.
Get back in your place.
Right. Well, I think that pretty much wraps up everything for this episode. We just wanted to remind everyone that this episode is also brought to you by the Maryland Mortgage Wiz. If you're planning on buying your first home this year, go ahead and get pre-approved and explore all your financing options with Dave Fritz, the Mortgage Wiz. Interest rates are at a historic low and down payment assistance programs are still available. Stop renting and put your money in a place that you can call home. Follow Dave on Instagram at Maryland_mortgage_wiz for more information. Dave is licensed in Maryland, Delaware, and Florida. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 3094.
Solid. Oh, one thing I want to tell you guys. Did I mention to you guys I met Mark Andrews?
Yeah, we saw that on your I think you snapped
weird.
us.
So weird, right? It's kind of funny. So it was my girlfriend's birthday last Friday, and we went to this bar with like all of her friends called Rope Walk in Fed Hill, Baltimore. We rented out the top floor so we could have like a little like private party until 11 o'clock, and then the public comes in, blah blah blah. So like 11:30 rolls around, it's starting to get crowded upstairs. We head downstairs, and one of my good buddies, we're like walking down the stairs, and he punches me like right in the fucking peck. I'm like, ow, like son of a bitch, why'd you hit me so hard? Because everyone's had a couple loosey gooseys, and now you're feeling it. Like, it's Mark fucking Andrews. I'm like, what? And I look down, and there's just like behemoth man, like 6'6", 250, just like way bigger than everybody else. And everybody's asking for a photo and all this shit. And really nice guy, he was pretty down to earth. But he was like, I think it was Marty. He asked me, he's like, do you want a beer? And he goes, tequila.
Oh.
like with his eyes closed and shit. So that was pretty funny. And then here's where it gets better. So that was Friday night. The next night we go out again, just because what else are you going to do? And Marty, fellow listener, and me and Nick's college friend, goes to a different bar that night and sees him out again.
No way.
And this time, Mark called Marty over to his table because he remembered him.
Wow.
Because Marty was like trying to like, date him basically on Friday
Right.
night. It was like, just like, I love you. I love you. I love
Right.
you. So him and Mark, I think, had like a drink together, and I'll show you guys something funny off air. But now Marty and Mark are kind of like boys, so we're one step away from having Mark Andrews introduced to our friend group, which
That would be pretty sick.
Get him on the show. He probably doesn't know anything about hockey. That's okay.
That's fine.
He might be a Yotes fan. He's from Arizona, I think.
True.
So I don't know. We'll see.
So like, how do you think that happened? Because I know like Marty just like probably shook his hand and like stuck like a GPS tracker like in his pants or something so he could follow him to the bar the next night.
That way you're gonna tell us off air.
Right.
He probably has like a little like thumbtack with a GPS tracker. He like
Right.
grabs me. He's like, hey, let me tell you something. Click. Like
Right.
right in the back of his neck.
That's so cool though.
Super nice guy.
Yeah.
He was really awesome. It's also weird. He's 25.
Mm-hmm.
So like he's
younger than me.
Yeah, and he's like our age. I'm like, come
Yeah.
on, that would be kind of funny if somehow he got in the friend group. But of course, Marty like DMs him, and he's like, come on the boat. Like, Mark, it was so fun meeting you last night. Like all this shit. I'm done ripping on Marty. I don't know how I just turned an Empty Betters episode into ripping on my college buddy, but I did.
That's awesome though.
Yeah, cool stuff. Anything else from you fellas? No?
Can't think of anything.
Did you guys get your summer merch yet?
Not yet.
Still
I'm
being
still
shipped?
still waiting.
I ordered like the store, so I
Yeah.
think it's gonna take a little bit.
Dude, the backpack.
It looks so sick.
Underrated item. I know it's a little expensive. It's because it's Under Armour branded. But if you're someone who carries a lot of shit on you, or like you're going to the gym after work or whatever,
Or you're going through airport security and you want all your stuff in one place and you don't have to take it out of the bins like the psychos in front of me, do that.
It's perfect. It's big. It's spacious. It's comfy. There's a bottom compartment where you can put a spare pair of shoes. I'm a huge fan. That's probably my favorite item. No joke.
You know why we built it with the spare compartment for your shoes is so when you take it to the tennis courts to work on your roller hockey game, you just take your shoes off and stick them right in there.
There you go. It's perfect. Match made in heaven. But
roller hockey bag, nice.
Yeah, literally. All right, everybody. We appreciate the support. Thank you for listening to this episode. We're gonna wrap it up here so Matt can get back to bed. Our boys up early every time lately, so we appreciate it, Mac. And without further ado,
class dismissed.